Hello, my name is Jonathan Ariano, and I'll be presenting today on the disease dyspraxia. What is dyspraxia? It is also known as developmental coordination disorder (DCD). It affects fine or gross motor coordination in children and adults. Individuals may vary in how their difficulties present. These may change over time depending on environmental demands and life experiences and will persist into adulthood. So basically, they have trouble with fine motor skills such as holding a pencil, which may make it difficult for a child to write. They find it difficult for gross motor skills such as going downstairs, walking, running. So that's why a lot of these patients tend to fall over and hurt themselves often. What happens in the brain? The cerebral cortex is divided into a right and a left hemisphere. They work independently to process information, but however, transfer information to each other in order to understand a complete piece or object. In these cases, they do not seem to have both hemispheres responding in this simultaneous coordinated fashion. Causes of the disease. There is no known cause. People with dyspraxia have no clinical neurological abnormality to explain their condition. Current research suggests that it is due to an immaturity of neuron development in the brain rather than to brain damage. Symptoms in preschool child is late in reaching milestones, rolling over, sitting, standing, walking, and speaking. May not be able to run, hop, jump, or catch or kick a ball, although their peers can do so. These are simple gross motor skills and locomotor skills that are used in everyday phys ed activity. Has difficulty in keeping friends or judging how to behave in company. Has little understanding of concepts such as in, on, in front, etc. Has difficulty in walking up and down stairs, poor at dressing themselves, slow and hesitant in most actions, appears not to be able to learn anything instinctively but must be taught skills, falls over frequently, poor pencil grip, cannot do jigsaws or shape sorting games. Artwork is very immature, often anxious, and easily distracted. Symptoms for school-age child. Probably has all of the difficulties experienced by the preschool child with dyspraxia with little or no improvement. They tend to avoid PE and games, does badly in class but significantly better on a one-to-one basis, reacts to all stimuli without discrimination, and attention span is poor. May have trouble with math and writing structured stories, experiences great difficulty in copying from the blackboard, writes laboriously and immaturely, unable to remember and or follow the instructions, is generally poorly organized. Physical education with dyspraxia. I chose to use physical education because this is what I teach and I wanted to relate it to my field of work. And this is the research I came up with. Activities that don't require much hand-eye coordination may be easier to manage for them. So things such as yoga, swimming, hiking, running, cycling, skating, aerobics, and Tai Chi would be much easier and better suited for their needs as a student with dyspraxia. You should be able to emphasize fun and participation rather than achievement. Where possible, avoid competitive sports, only comparing a child to their own previous performance. Break down the activity into smaller parts and practice individual skills in an unpressured environment before joining in a group. If a young person is interested in a sport, even if they can't play it well, um, then their interest should be encouraged. They might become an expert on players and teams form and can help to maintain their street credibility with their peers. Above all, find something the individual can do and encourage their improvement and participation. Okay, as you can see, most of these skills and activities are not sport related. Well, they are sport related, but they can relate to them easier because they don't have fine motor skills and gross motor skills. As far as teacher accommodations, emphasize fun as much as possible and not competition. Break down activities into smaller parts. Practice individual skills. Use music and provide children with a marked spot. This is basically, instead of playing the entire sport, you can break down the sport into individual acts and different games using skills. For example, instead of playing a game of soccer, you can teach or play a game of solely kicking the ball, playing goalie. In basketball, you can play a dribbling game such as speed dribbling, and in football, you can play a game of target practice, throwing a football to a particular target, giving different points to different targets and different achievements. The future with the disease. This disease is unfortunately not curable. Children with the condition may improve with growing maturity. Symptoms in children and adults can lessen if they are given appropriate treatment and advice on practical actions to minimize the day-to-day difficulties that their dyspraxia can cause. Transition services. Children have difficulties in transition from preschool to school, primary school to secondary school, and leaving school to adult life. Occupational therapists, educational psychologists, school nurses, and pediatricians all assist with the transitions. School nurses review all children in their primary 7 years of school. Symptoms in children and adults can lessen if they are given appropriate treatment and advice on practical actions to minimize the day-to-day difficulties that their dyspraxia can cause. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.